good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 5, DJI Firmware Updates. Let's get into seeing who's in the house tonight here. Okay. Wow, we got a full house already. Akarasho of the Drone Guy 42 Adventures, Drone Shots. Jay Bird is here. Michael Wright's here. Let's see. Leonard Oglesby is here. Art's here. Flying Plane Media, John, welcome. See who else we got. Drone Views Media, Sergeant Rock is here, and a shout out to Sergeant Rock because he attended my Ham Radio Basics live stream on Wednesday night. Good job, my friend. Awesome. Waypoint New England. Who else we got? Boy, we do have a full house. You guys have been at it here. I'm sorry, I was just Rich Flyer 32. Lauren is here. All right, got a full house tonight. Actually got some things to talk about tonight. Hasn't been a whole lot of drone news lately, but there's been some firmware updates. We're going to talk about those. Hopefully, Ron and Marcus will join us a little later. I want to get Ron's take on the DJI Mini 2 because he did buy that and see how his experience has been. Johnny, welcome. Johnny Drone Flyer got a new truck. I like it. It looks good. Not as good as a Tundra, but I like it. It's a good. You got a good truck. I know a friend of mine that got that. Is that Santa Cruz, Johnny, that you got? Drop that in the chat. I think that is. I saw your picture before I jumped on this evening. But yeah, I have a friend of mine that has that too. So those are. I guess you want to call it a truck, but yeah, it's nice looking, and my friend really likes it. I think it's a Santa Cruz, if I'm right. Okay, all right. Moving on here. Big day for me Saturday. All right. I get my fiberglass cover for the back end of my Tundra. So that's coming up. Good news. Okay. If you guys haven't seen, I got my initial set of logos in. They were okay, but the font was a little smaller. So we're getting them reworked. Going to get those done probably within the next 2 weeks here for sure. We're going to get some videos out because I got to film an intro video. And I'm going to do several shorts to start things out with, just for some tips and things like that. And one of the first videos I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot when we go Saturday. I'm getting the fiberglass cover installed for the back of the Tundra that came in. So I'm going to do some video about befores and afters and during the experience and the whole 9 yards, and talking to some of the guys there at the place I'm going to take it to. It's called Topper King, and they're a truck accessories place here in where I live in Florida. So, okay. All right. And again, a shout out to Sergeant Rock. He was on my Ham Radio Basics live stream on Wednesdays at 7:00. So, and if you guys haven't subscribed to Tundra Nation Basics, everything is down in the description. Okay. I have the YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook group, Facebook page, and Twitter. I got all social media covered for that. So, and what's really interesting is I've been getting a lot of followers out on Instagram. So Instagram seems to be the place for Tundra followers. Not so much Twitter, but for like ham radio, it's exploded on Twitter. There's a lot of people on ham radio. That's where, and also Instagram, but mostly Twitter. So it's real interesting where some of these dynamics fall. But anyway, all right. Enough of that. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got coming up here. All right. Let's get with the first. Okay. DJI had a response to security accusations driving drone blacklists, and we're going to go ahead and share that right now. I thought that was a good article to go ahead and share with you guys. All right, DJI responds today to security accusations driving drone blacklist. In almost half a decade since the first official bans on DJI drones arose from U.S. federal agencies, companies generally remain tight-lipped in the face of accompanying accusations. But in the wake of the American Security Drone Act of 2023 passed in December, Chinese manufactured drones is data risk. As always, though possibly for now, U.S. laws and liberties still show companies and consumers to not only choose the best products available in their investment budgets, they also permit the discernment of buyers in factoring other considerations when deciding to adopt or avoid options opening to them. In presenting DJI's text, Drone DJ seeks to provide the readers the company's perspective in a debate dominated by statements from pro-blacklist advocates, and thus make informed decisions on their own. Okay, DJI's data privacy policies, and they list them out here. Fact number one: DJI created the market for ready-to-fly civilian and commercial drones almost 2 decades ago. Fact number two: customers only share flight logs, images, or videos with us if they affirmatively choose to do so. Default collection does not exist with us. Fact three: operators of our consumer and enterprise drones can choose to fly offline through local data mode, ensuring that no unauthorized parties can get access to their drone data. Fact number four: since 2017, we've regularly submitted our products for third-party security audits and certification. These U.S. and European cybersecurity experts buy our products off the shelf and conduct the review independently. These findings validate that we provide best-in-class data security and data privacy protections. Okay. For additional information on data privacy protection offered to all customers, or learn more about how DJI improvements, and in some cases even exceeds, the guidance is set forth by the government memo. Click here. Okay. And again, you guys know I drop all these articles are dropped in Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page. I'm making an effort to get it out there now too. So, all right. But yeah, Johnny, that is just that. Oh yeah. Chick magnet. There you go. All right. All right. But yeah, definitely you want to read this article. It brings up some good points from DJI themselves. And we've gone over it. We've kind of hashed this over several times here. But suffice it to say, the federal government really hasn't shown any proof of this. And they keep saying that there are issues, but they never show us anything about it. So, and they've had multiple independent audits of DJI products, and they've come through. They've come through clean. So we'll just kind of go with that for now. Okay, as far as that's concerned. Now, as a bonus, DJI's had a sale, and I think the sale expires either today or tomorrow. Not 100% sure. But there is still something that's on sale. And let's go ahead and pull that up right now. Now, of course, you guys know Drone DJ is hooked up with the 9 to 5 group. And DJI's Mini 3 Pro folding drone shoots vertical video at $600, save $159. With DJI RC at $730. You can see. Let's go ahead and I'm going to click on the link here, see where we go. Okay, it has a link for Best Buy, $729 with a controller. That's a pretty good deal, guys. That is a pretty good deal. So, don't know. Let's see when this is through here. Let me go ahead and I'll reshare this again. Back this up. All right. I'm trying to see about a date on this, and I'm not seeing a date right now about this. So I would say if you're interested, you definitely want to jump out and take advantage of this. That's a great deal. So I would definitely do that. Marcus, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. Let me get the other. I had to mute the. I had you on the other in another window, Bill, so I had to mute it. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
Out on 9 to 5, which is affiliated with Drone DJ, Mini 3 Pro is on sale at $600, save $159, and with the DJI RC, it's $730. And this is it. The link takes you to Best Buy, and the prices are out there. So that's a great deal.
So, Bill, I just was looking. Just as soon as I tuned in, I saw you were looking at that. You know what my first thought was? why is anybody buying some of those other cheaper drones? I mean, look at that. You can have that drone with obstacle avoidance, with all of those features, with that unbelievable camera and everything for $730. I mean, that's with a smart controller. What? You know?
Yeah, like why do you go on Amazon and look at I call the holy rocks, okay, and you know in other ones out there, and just seriously, it doesn't make any sense, Marcus.
Yeah, it is interesting. That is a tremendous value. So you may have already talked about this, Bill, but we talked about it a little bit last night on Drone Nation. So what is DJI's next step in that value drone? Because Ron was talking about a replacement for the Mini 2 SE. What do they do? Will they have a Mini 4 SE, whatever? Well, I don't know that they need to, because look at this. For $730, you get all these features. Man.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm just, you know, it's just, you know, it boggles my mind why people go out there and shop these cheaper drones.
I'll tell you why, Bill. And my friend DeMarco Moore has explained this to me many times, because, and I think we all went through it. The answer is they don't know any better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't, they're not familiar with the market. They just don't know any better. And, you know, my first drone was, hey, I knew I wanted to buy a drone, right? I went out and I bought a DJI RC something. And why did I buy it? Because it was big. I thought, man, I'm a man. I need a big drone, right? Well, it was a piece of garbage. And then, of course, the first thing you do is you find out, you're looking at drone videos and you see a DJI GPS drone and you go, that's what I want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, it's, you know, I had to get, and here's Mr. Ron Brown. How are you, sir?
Hello, gentlemen. Sorry I'm late. I was using that link to go buy the DJI Mini 3 Pro for that.
See, I told you, Bill.
You know,
Ron is a wise man.
He sure is.
You can never have too many of those Mini 3 or DJI Mini drones in around, can you, Marcus?
I got a whole shelf full of them back here, Ron. In fact, you guys, seriously, I flew the Mini 3 Pro just the other day. First time I'd flown it in a long time. In fact, I had to do that thing where I had to log in again because it had been so long since I had flown it. Today, I flew the Mini 4 Pro, ran a couple batteries through it. We had beautiful weather. And man, I mean, these DJI Mini drones, like this is the first one they called the Pro, the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro. They truly are. They earned that name Pro. I'm just telling you, they're amazing pieces of technology.
But Marcus, did you ever get that firmware update done on the Mini 3 Pro? Remember in the middle of your video, it called for an update?
I did do that, and it was just a generic thing. Yeah. I got that done, Ron.
Hey, Bill, I saw Richard's comment in there about that nobody spent $700 on their first toy. And I agree, Richard, they don't. But you know what? We're here to save people. Instead of going out and spending $200 or $300 for that first drone as a piece of junk, just go right to the Mini for $700. In that way, we've saved you $200 or $300. That second drone is a lot cheaper now. You didn't have to buy the first one along with it.
Hey, all kidding aside, and I'm not joking one bit, I've saved a lot of money by listening to that guy right there.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, here's the other thing, you know, and our good friend Brian Singleton, okay? You watch some of his videos, okay? When he has a junk drone, what's he do with it? Throws it in the garbage can.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Brian's got it down pat, okay?
I wish I lived in his area. I could get a lot of free drones just by visiting those ball fields and stuff where he throws that drone in the can.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, nobody's had more. What's he call them? Duds. He has a name for him. Nobody's had more duds over the year than Brian Singleton. But he reviewed all those toy ones. That's the thing is those inexpensive drones. There's a few good ones, but you probably have to buy 10 of those real budget drones to get one that's actually decent.
Hey, I got to tell you guys though, because as you guys know, I've been messing with that level of drone for a long time. They're getting better. They really are. The quality of those drones, they're actually they're easier to fly, and they figured out, it used to be a couple of years ago, you'd fly some Holy Stone something, and you had to hold your mouth a certain way, and you had to turn your head like this or whatever to get it to take off. Not so much anymore. They're a lot more straightforward than they used to be. Now, I'm not making excuses for them. They're not nearly. I mean, we just got through talking about why we like DJI drones. They're not even at that level, but they are better.
Well, you're talking in drones that are in the $250, $300 range. I mean, sometimes like Brian, the real cheapies, like the $100 ones,
the sub $100 ones, yeah.
Or even the say the sub 150.
Yeah.
They're that's the Wild West, and sure, you'll learn how to fly. But I mean, today you guys can verify this. If you get a DJI Mini, even the Mini 2 SE, it's not like you have to learn to fly more. Those things fly so well that it's not a big learning curve like it used to be.
Okay, let me give you. I'll just give you a good real world example of that. Last fall, I was out at the drag strip. I took my Mavic 3 Pro with me out there. One of my drag racing buddies, I was getting ready to fly it, and he's never looked at a drone before, never seen a drone, never did a thing. I took that Mavic 3 Pro, I set it on the landing pad, and I told him, I said, this is what you do. Push this button, do this. This is what this joystick does. This is what this joystick does. And I had the RC Pro, right? So he had an advantage there. But he picked that thing up. He took off. He flew the drone in circles, did a figure 8 with it, had never touched a drone before in his life. Mm-hmm. So, they definitely, DJI has got it down where really, anybody can.
And then he's buying all those the toy and budget drones first.
Right. Yeah.
Well, DJI is, the title of tonight's show is firmware updates. And the second one I want to talk about is there was a firmware update for the Mini 2 SE. Now, remember, Mini 2 SE is at $299. I mean, that eliminates you from getting a Holy Stone or, JJRC or something or other. I mean, $299. You can't.
Well, if I got enough battery, I think we ought to do that update live. Hang on, I don't know if I got enough battery.
The January 2024 update bumps the Mini 2 SE aircraft firmware to V00.0410 from the previous version. Firmware updates, while sometimes containing more notable features, are commonly used for bug fixes and performance improvements. This update also fixes some known issues with the aircraft, along with helping users in China to comply with the new drone regulations that have come into effect this year. So it's kind of really a generic kind of an update.
The update we all hate, the most it can say is bug fixes.
Well, here it is. It's the DeMarco Mini 2 SE.
Right here. DeMarco Mini 2 SE. Okay.
And I just checked. I got 2 lights on the battery. So I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. And Bill, sometimes you can get more information from a Mike Tomlin press conference than you can a DJI drone update press release.
Yeah. And we'll talk about football as we close the show out. I got lots to talk about with that. Now,
got a big game coming up in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yes, we do. Oh, by the way, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I saw an article today, okay, with Kansas City, and them focusing on Taylor Swift. It has increased the value of the Kansas City Chiefs by $310 million.
Can you imagine? I don't doubt that a bit. I don't doubt that one bit.
Mark, do you have stock in the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, 310. Boy, I'll tell you what. Boy, I wish that they traded public stock because I would buy some. I'll tell you that.
I don't even know who owns the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Hunt family.
The Hunt family. Lamar Hunt, and it's now his sons.
And his son Mike.
Yeah,
that's a joke.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. It was just hanging there, and I had to do it. But can you imagine? They've got to be thrilled. The value of their team is just skyrocketed.
Yeah, most of these teams aren't publicly traded things, but a lot of these teams, if you have a little bit of cash, you become a minority ownership.
No, but here's what I'm looking at, Ron. To think about the TV rights and so forth, doesn't that really blow up the value of what they can get for broadcast?
Yeah, but the TV rights are shared evenly through the NFL, so it doesn't matter if Kansas City contributed to like 75% of the the NFL's TV revenue, they still would only get their 1/30 or 32nd share of it.
Okay, so let me ask you this then: how about ticket prices? Just for live.
Yeah, they would get a bigger thing of their own ticket prices at the gate.
Yeah. So probably their gate prices now what gone up by 50%? You think?
Well, I mean, they were already a team that just won a Super Bowl or whatever, so their prices are already sky high. It would have helped more a team that wasn't successful already.
Yeah. Anyway,
All
right. Enough football.
Basically, I think it just helps maybe get a few extra TV ratings. A few people going.
Yeah, they'll get some TV points and they'll get money. They'll get revenue from it. Okay, DJI releases new Mini 3 firmware for drone remote ID compliance. Okay, and it looks like, and this is a Mini 3, not Mini 3 Pro. Aircraft firmware v01.00.0410 is now available to download for Mini 3. Along with, you need to update your remote controller in the DJI Fly app. New Mini 3 firmware fixes some known issues and new updates, but that's not the significant part. The firmware has support for automatically activating drone remote ID in the U.S. when the aircraft is being used with an intelligent flight battery plus. Okay, so that's basically the gist of this firmware.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that article up. We had this question last night. Marcus got his update done, or?
Well, no, it's just asking for an update. I just
okay, so you got to do it now. But we had a question on the show last night from Bob Casey. Big Bob Casey, and he wanted to know if if you ran the under 250 gram battery in the Mini 4, I think we're talking Mini 4, Mini 3. Would you broadcast remote ID? And it pretty much says in this article here that's the case. It only turns on remote ID when you put the plus battery. But also, a couple people reached out to me today, including Richard, and they confirmed that if you fly the drone with the Mini, I'm going to say that I can only speak to the Mini 4, maybe the Mini 3, I just don't know. The Mini 4 Pro with the standard battery, it will not broadcast remote ID.
Correct.
I had a couple people confirm that to me, and this article is pretty much saying the same thing.
So Ron, you remember as we were talking yesterday, I said I didn't have one of the lighter batteries. I realized for my Mini 3 standard, I do have just that standard sub 250 battery. So I that's one on my to-do list is to try that.
And I will test too, but I didn't think I could test it first because I don't have an Android device, and the app, the Karen app, doesn't work on an iOS device. But here, what I figured out. Mark, is I don't even need that. On the DJI RC Pro, you can hit that. It's a little place in the top left-hand corner you can hit, and it tells you whether you're broadcasting or not.
Right.
So I could use that. I don't have to have a Karen app. I can just see if the controller says it's broadcast remote ID or not. I mean, this is something that's not important to me, Mark, because it's probably not you, Bill. But there are some people out there that are very concerned about not broadcasting remote ID, and I kind of want to, get this story kind of squared away for those folks.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I think with the interchangeable batteries and everything, there can be a lot of confusion on that. So I think people need to really be aware, and that's why it's printed in black and white in this article. So and that's why I drop these articles out on my groups and page, so you guys can go ahead and read this and take this, because if you have anybody ask you that question, forward them this article, okay? And I think this is a good point.
Now, you remember at one point with the Mini 3 Pro, when it came out, shortly after it came out, or within at least the first 6 months, it came out with a firmware update that activated remote ID on it full time, 100% of the time. So a lot of people bought a Mini drone not to broadcast remote ID, and here they turned it on all the time. So it really wasn't fair to the people who bought the Mini drone to be under 250 gram and not broadcast remote ID.
Now, the other firmware update that I want to talk about is the DJI Fly app was updated. Adds a display zoom setting that supports larger text display, enabling a clear presentation of critical flight information. Introduces before you fly section that provides information on flight compliance requirements and important considerations for drone flights at different locations. Add support for searching information on product usage, tutorial videos, and flight guides for specific areas. Optimizes in-app after-sales service by introducing new features such as hotline service, online service progress inquiry, and access to frequently asked questions. Introduces a redesigned quick transfer interface, allowing for more intuitive and easier connections. Okay.
I'll tell you what, that is so worth it just for the bigger font.
Font.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, all of us who are you know, have these things
vision challenged.
It really makes a big difference. Okay. Really,
but not to burst any bubbles, Bill. But Marcus showed this in his video where he was out at the park freezing his you know what off out there doing the demo. The before you fly part of it, you know, and it did the same thing to me. I pulled up and, you know, tapped my zip code in, and I was looking at a map of Beijing. So I mean, I know they'll get that fixed. You know, I know they will. But
no, Ron, I figured that out today.
Oh.
And I think Johnny told me, a couple different people. I heard it in my comments, and then Johnny told me too. So when when that map comes up, you just hit on the little crosshair icon, and it will zoom in on your area.
We're seeing the whole world at first.
Right.
Okay.
I did it today. I when I was flying today, I tried it, and I hit that little crosshair, and boom, it zoomed right in where I was at.
Now the thing I don't ever remember seeing the crosshair, but I'll look for it.
Yeah, when you look in the key, it's got several different icons there. The one that's a crosshair, you just hit that.
Yeah.
The other thing though that you need to be aware of, and it might be something I'm doing wrong, but you know, the whole before you fly thing is supposed to tell you the rules of that area. I couldn't see anything. It didn't give me any kind of advice over the specific area that I was.
I think some people in Europe are seeing that stuff. So I think it's kind of a rollout thing. I think it's a work in progress. I think it could be a good thing once they get all the bugs worked out. But a little bit of a work in progress is point. And the other thing you showed, the part about the quick transfer thing, it looked like it's a quick transfer button there to do it for you. But all it does is just leaves it to the instructions.
It's just instructions,
with your phone or whatever. So they had this basically the tabs as big as the tab for like before you fly, and all it is instructions how to get your phone out and do whatever. So it looks nice.
Well, so here's what I kind of hope for, and Bill, you chime in too. But what I had hoped that you could do with that would be to transfer the full resolution video files to your RC2 controller, right? So that you could get them just off of that micro SD card on there, or just into the controller itself, so that you could just watch the full resolution file on the controller. But that's not what it's for. It is simply for transferring it, like Ron said, to your phone or to a tablet, etc.
Yeah, and see, that's a misnomer, because I was thinking what you just said, Marcus. Like, wow, that would be incredibly awesome, because you know, it's like, okay, when I come back, what do I got to do? I either pop the SD card out, put it in a reader, or take my cable out, hook it up to the drone. And, you know, and granted, I mean, it works, but, you know, it's not easy. Okay. Having a quick transfer, I'm like, oh, okay, wow. All right. They finally listened to us. They finally did something. But no, you know, it's like, all right. And let me put it to you this way. Okay. I don't think either one of you are ones who will, you know, when we put our videos out for YouTube, okay, we're going to be on our Mac or our PC doing it. Okay. We're not going to be doing it. You know, the three of us don't do it via tablet or an iPad. Okay. And, you know, granted, you can do it, but I think you have much more options on a PC or a Mac in doing something like that. With like I use DaVinci. Okay. And it's super easy to use DaVinci on a PC. To try using that on a tablet, good luck. I mean, it's, yeah.
Bill, here's a use case that you may use it though. What if you took a couple of photos you want to get up on Facebook or Instagram right away? Yeah. You don't want to go home and transfer the computer and put it in an app. You just want them to go right to the field. If you could quick transfer those photos right into your Facebook app or Instagram app or whatever your app of choice is, your phone, that would be a nice feature.
Yes, that would be perfect, because let's say I mean, it was something significant. Okay. You know,
It was a fire or something like that or whatever.
Or it would help law enforcement or something like that. Who knows? Just throwing a scenario out there.
You don't want to edit that photo. You just want to get it up. The photo is fine the way it is. It doesn't
right. And you don't have that capability right now. Okay.
Yeah.
You just don't have that.
Hey, by the way, the update failed on the Mini 2 SE. Maybe just because of, I think possibly my battery was too low. It didn't give me that message. It just said update failed. So I'm charging it up. I'll try it again. Yeah.
Okay, folks. We will return to this later.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna just a little bit of a segue here. I know our esteemed colleague sitting below us here has the DJI Mic 2, and I wanted to kind of get his thoughts on the Mic 2 and see what it is, because
even comes in the same shaving kit as the Pocket 3.
There's a Pocket 3. Wow. Okay.
It's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit smaller of a shaving kit.
Okay. So what are your thoughts, Ron?
Well, of course, here's you've seen the mic for me. Here's something else that just came in recently that you'll want to see, Bill. The first ever DJI Lav mic.
Oh, okay.
And what I like about this Lav mic, others, here's the the little clip here that you clip it on, say your lapel, but also this twists around. So when you clip it on, you can still, it kind of has a click to it. You can still move it around the face direction, of your mouth. Like if you clip it on, it won't accidentally be, downwards. You said it has a nice tactile feel when you're moving it around, and of course it has the DJI.
What I like about that, it weighs less than the DJI mic. Like if I put a DJI mic on here, it's gonna be dragging down here like this because it has some weight. Okay,
much less weight.
But you put what you have on there. How much is it, Ron?
It's on the DJI website is $39.99. Now it's hard to get. I got one of those emails let me know that was available, and I think I ordered it right away. But you can go over to Amazon. You can find it on Amazon if you're lucky. But it's third-party sellers that are selling it for more money than $39.99. Okay. So and remember when the reviews came out for the the whole kit. Almost all the influencers had this or whatever. And then day one, when it was available for sale, the Lav mic was sold out. I think like they've done in the past, they sent every single Lav mic out to the influencers that didn't have anything to sell to the regular customers. So I don't know what the point of getting people all hyped up to buy it. You don't have it for sale, but that's neither here nor there. That's just the Ron's grapes or whatever. But it works well. People say that it works better than the Rode Lav mic that's like $30 more. Now I don't have any of the Rode equipment to compare with, so I'm just going off what people say. In fact, the only Lav I have are kind of cheap off-brand Lavs. So of course this works better than a budget Lav or whatever. But like you said, it sounds no worse than using just the mic. And some people say it works better, and you don't have that heavy weight up here. Like if you have a t-shirt like you, Bill, and that thing's pulling your t-shirt down, it looks kind of bad on camera.
Yeah, that does. Now I have a Rode mic on my Action 1, okay, and it does a good job. I'm real impressed with it. I'm very impressed with that. But I know the kind of mic that you have right there. If it's a good quality mic, it's going to pick up. I think it picks up sounds really well. Like when you attach it up here on your lapel, you won't have any problem picking that up at all.
Yeah, the one well, good side and bad side. It has this kind of scratch thing here on it, so and pop filter I call it, so it won't rub against your clothing and make a scratch on it, and it's good for like a pop filter too. But it does not come with a dead cat like some of these others do. So if you want to use this outdoor use, you're going to pick up a bit of wind noise because you don't have a dead cat. But here's the thing: is if you use this new noise cancellation on the that offers with the mic 2, that noise cancellation I think could take care of you even if you use this in an outdoor situation without a a dead cat type of muff on top of it. So I put a little video out already, Bill, when I tested the mic 2 against the mic 1, and I kind of went back and forth a little bit. And Marcus has seen the video, and Johnny saw it too, or whatever. And the sound quality is. I didn't notice a whole lot of difference between the mic 1 and the mic 2 in the sound quality. Now I'm talking indoor, perfect location, office, no wind, no noise. Marcus, what was your impressions of that test?
Yeah, I couldn't tell the difference. Not even whatsoever. So yeah, I think the difference is if you are a high-end audio guy and you have, what do they call it, 32-bit? Is that what
Which I did not have 32-bit float on. I had 24-bit.
But anyway, just like a high-res picture, it gives them more information to work with when they want to tweak the sound. Honestly, that's nothing that we'll ever do. And I think even Sean said it yesterday too. The big feature for him is to be able to wirelessly connect that microphone to whatever camera he's using it, whether it's the Osmo Action 4 or the Pocket 3, right?
And also has Bluetooth capabilities. You can even connect it to Android and Apple phones too. Now, as Sean pointed out, when you have it connected to the Bluetooth, you won't have the range that you have using the transmitter. But if you don't intend to go far, or even if you do go far, just record straight directly to the mic, and that's no issue either.
And that was his suggestion, right? Was that if you do that, hit that record button on the mic so that you're covered either way.
Well, Bill, I think the beauty of the Mic 2 is that noise cancellation feature. So say you are out, like the Mic 1 doesn't have this. So I think the Mic 2 is going to be a better outdoor mic than the Mic 1. And for somebody like Marcus, who operates a lot out in conditions, he always has a wind muff and so on. But say first you've lost the wind muff or you forgot it, you can just turn noise reduction on. And I have video coming out in my limited testing. It works just as good as a wind muff or whatever. And if you're really in a bad wind situation, do the combination of wind muff and the noise reduction. You'll cut out so much sound, it won't even sound like you're outdoors.
Yeah.
And I've got that video coming soon.
I'm glad you talked about
near you.
I'm glad you talked about the Bluetooth feature on the Mic 2, because I think that's important. Because one of the things that I found out when I originally got the Mic 1, in order to get that to work with my smartphone, I had to go into a not the regular video mode, but an advanced video mode. So it would recognize when I plug the dongle in the phone, because otherwise it won't recognize and it won't pick it up. And I was like, shoot the video, and I'm like, where's the audio? I mean, it's not there. Like I would leave it on my desk, shoot video, walk into another room, and you wouldn't hear anything. And then I realized something, and I said, I did some digging, when I first got the DJI mic, and said, oh, you got to turn on, this video mode. You got to go to advanced video mode to do it, so it'll pick it up, because it'll recognize your USB device. And it did that, and boom, it worked. It worked like a champ after that. But
we had a situation with Sean last night where he asked me if I had tried the Mic 2, with the iPhone, and I said I had, and he was perplexed because he got it to connect, but he couldn't get any sound. You can't use a native Apple camera app. You have to go to a third-party app, such as the Blackmagic app or something, where it has a setting in there where you can choose your audio source, and then you can switch from camera mic to the DJI Mic 2, or you don't have in the native camera app on Apple, there is no such selection, so it won't use the sound from the mic. And Bill, can I give one little quick thing? People keep asking me this, and I finally got the answer. I did test the lab mic with the Mic 1. It does work with the Mic 1. A lot of people ask me that, and you would assume it would, but you never know with this stuff. But it does work with the Mic 1. Whether it works with any other devices, I did not know. But Mic 1, Mic 2 are confirmed.
Now, how much is the Mic 2, Ron?
The Mic 2 is $349 for the whole, the whole 9 yards here. Good football reference, right, Bill? You could get a kit where you only get the you only get the receiver and one transmitter for $219. I think that also comes with the other doodads and accessories. That would be $219 to get the scaled down kit, but you do not receive the case. You do not receive the second mic. Now, if you're already on a Pocket 3, you're thinking to yourself, well, I'll get a kit like that. I'll have two mics then, and I'll have the transmitter, but you still will not have the case.
Now, question, do they sell that case a la carte or not?
The case is a la carte for $69. Last time I looked, of course, it's sold out, not available.
Right.
And I pieced it all together. If you bought everything separately, I think it would be a little less than the $349 if you piecemeal it all together and you already owned the Mic 2 from the Pocket 3. You could piece it together for less than $349.
That sounds like I might do something.
But my problem with that is, what if you ever sell your Pocket 3? Now your Mic 2 case becomes incomplete again.
Well, but the other point to make there, Ron, is when you're using your Pocket 3, that mic that came with it, it's already connected. You don't have to worry about resynchronizing it. It's all just ready to go.
And you can also grab one of the mics in this kit. You can synchronize 2 mics to the Pocket 3. Now, I believe you can only synchronize 1 mic to the Action 4.
That's a good point.
You can do 2 to the Pocket 3.
Bill, I can't remember. Did you get the Action 4?
I'm going to get it. It's still on sale on Amazon. I'm going to pull
good, because the DJI sale ended for $299.
Yeah, it's still on sale on Amazon.
I picked it up yesterday because of that. That sale. They said I got good for DJI marketing. They sent out that email that said the sale's ending, and I said, "Oh crap!"
Well, you know what's nice was I went out to Amazon because I know Ron had said, the sale's ending, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out to Amazon. Sure enough, it's still out on Amazon. So I'm going to go out and get it. And I'm going to get the adventure one that has the
stick,
stick with it and the magnetic. That's just going to be incredible. Well,
I think Marcus already had the magnetic stuff from the
next week, I'm heading over to Orlando on Thursday, Friday. Hamcation is in Orlando. It's the second largest ham radio show in the United States. So we're going to be heading over to Orlando, and I'm not taking Interstate 4 over there. Okay.
You're not taking the sleigh road over, huh?
Okay. Interstate 4. Okay. I'll tell you what, when I first started working at Publix, I would take Interstate 4 to get to Lakeland to work. All right. After driving it for 4 months, I saw 3 fatal accidents. Done. History. Okay. History. People will go in the left lane. And I'm sorry for this segue here. People in the left lane been known to do over 100 miles an hour during the day. Okay. And I'm like, no.
Wow.
No. So I'm taking the back way to get over to Orlando on
Lakeland. My mother used to live near Lakeland in the 80s.
Lakeland's an okay place to live, but back in the day, okay.
Back then traffic wasn't like it is now.
Well, they were also known as the meth capital of the world. Okay.
They had meth back in the 80s?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Valerie can talk your ear off about that in Polk County and everything over there. So,
hey, Bill, not to distract you for just a quick second. So I know you've started up your Toyota Tundra group, and I'm here to tell you, you got some competition.
You got big time.
Our friend Johnny Drone Flyer.
I saw that.
He bought a Hyundai Santa Cruz. So
congrats to Johnny.
I don't know if you guys know Joe Ace Vito. Have you seen him? He goes by N6 videos. Okay. And he used to be the manager of a ham radio outlet until they closed it over. And Joe, if you're watching tonight, hi. But he has one and he has absolutely loved it. He has a small trailer that he pulls with it.
Oh, yeah.
He is just absolutely in love with it. He just said it's a fantastic vehicle. Johnny, you got a great vehicle. Not as good as my Tundra, but it's a great vehicle.
I think Johnny has a lot more money left in his bank account than you do, Bill.
Probably, I'll tell you that.
Hey, well, you know how ornery I am, Bill. I went out and I asked for Bing AI to make a picture of a Chevy Tahoe next to a Hyundai, and I sent it to him. So you got this great big Chevy Tahoe and this little Hyundai.
And I think Johnny's going to use AI to send it back to you, and he's going to have the stack of money that he's beside him.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
anyway,
that's good. That's
we
good.
got
John,
distracted.
you got a great vehicle.
Sorry, folks. We went to Car Nation here for a minute, but we're back on track now, right?
We're next kind story. Next drone story. Bit. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of maybe the last few minutes here wrap things up with, there's no real concrete information about anything coming down the pipeline right now.
Lauren put in the chat last night that no new DJI drones until April.
Well, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping maybe we'd see one of those, the Avata 2 or the Mini Avata maybe pop out the end of February, because I brought the Marcus last night. The Mini 2 SE popped out the very end of February last year. Remember that, Bill?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I think we did wait until April for the Inspire 3. Was that correct, Bill?
Yeah.
Inspire 3 was April. So, but at least they gave us a teaser. And I said last night, and I asked you, Bill, do you think there could be another SE, popping out anytime soon, or we're not, or do you think we're not going to see an SE model for a while?
That's a real good question. It sells real well. If they price it right, yeah, I think we might see one. But as Lauren said, it's going to be, I'm surprised that they're waiting that long to come out with something on one hand, but on the other hand, okay. And I think Johnny said it, that they were putting out too much too fast last year. And in a way they kind of did. So I think they're trying to slow the cycle down maybe a little bit, but who knows with them? They're marketing, trying to follow how they do their marketing at DJI. It'll give you a headache because
it's like trying to figure out a Mac Canada, what do you call it, game plan.
Well, it's like trying to figure out the Detroit Lions head coach. I forget his name. And
Dan Campbell.
Gamble, and not kicking a field goal to tie the game up with like 3 minutes left. Why would you not?
Especially when he has experience. Remember, he blew the Cowboy game in the regular season by not kicking an extra point and tying a game.
Yeah, I'm burned about that.
Maybe Tomlin texted during the game. Maybe he texted Mike, what should I do here?
Yeah, he probably said, no, don't kick it. I'm just like, go for it. And I'm like, good Lord Almighty. Okay. Yeah. Digressing here. But no.
But really, Marcus brought this up last night. A good point. Do you think the Mini 3, just that plain Mini 3, that doesn't have the obstacle avoidance and maybe then that stuff does, do you think that kind of serves as an SE drone right now? Because I believe, Marcus, that thing goes for $469 with standard controller.
Yeah, isn't it $469 or $439, something like that?
That kind of fills maybe the SE. Though that may not be cheap enough to be a real SE, but it sort of is one of the best. If you have a little bit more cash than what $299 or $349, depending on what the SE is, if you have another $100, that's really a step up, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's no.
You can put up another $100. Basically.
For one thing, it gives you vertical video. It has more of the intelligent flight features. Yeah, a lot more stuff.
Much better camera.
Yeah.
Better flight time on the plus battery.
Well, one of the things for me is, okay, if they would do like a Mini 3 SE or a Mini 4 SE, all right, they could if they price it right, it would sell really well.
No, okay? What would they have to price a Mini 3 SE at?
Okay, the Mini 2 SE is at $299. You could probably do $349.
Well, $349 is the normal price of the Mini 2 SE.
I'll be honest with you guys. I think that price point, that $299 price point, it's got to be really close to that.
Am I correct, Marcus? At $299, that's not a permanent markdown.
That's the sale price.
$349 is the actual price.
Okay.
$339.
$339. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So if they could get a Mini 3 SE down to $339, that would be that would sell like hotcakes. Or
so what would it be then, Ron? A fixed camera, in other words, where it didn't shoot vertical. But one of the things they could offer would be 4K video, right? That they've never had.
But SEs always have 2.7.
2.7, yeah.
So, but then when April hits, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I really think we're going to see like an Avata 2 or something like that. I think that's what's going to come out first, because its popularity has gone through the roof. I mean, you've gotten people who have never flown before, like both of you have embraced it. I may even think about embracing something like that. It's a fun, it's such a different type of experience than flying what we'll call a non-goggle drone. Okay. For lack of a better term, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, you got to be sharp. You got to know what you're doing. And then you got to resign yourself to the fact that, you're going to crash this thing, and you're going to probably crash it a lot of times, but these things are built, for the most part, to withstand this. So,
and Bill, I'm going to caveat you a little bit. If you intend to fly an acro, you're going to fly a lot. But as somebody that never puts an acro, I've only crashed it one time. That was just because one of my first couple flights in the backyard, it lifted up into a bottom of a tree. I mean, like a little bitty tree or whatever. It lifted the bottom of the tree and then came down or whatever. I mean, that straight to the ground with no damage. So I've never really had
Yeah, I've never crashed mine. Yeah, I've never crashed my Avata.
And only because I got panicked and didn't know how to like get it back down because I was using the dumb motion stick or whatever, you know.
Well, I was all set this weekend to go out, and I don't know if you saw my short. We had 25, 35 mile an hour wind gusts on Sunday. Okay. I mean, if the sun was out, it looked good, but boy, oh boy, as soon as that wind, and I
don't fly Nevada in that type of wind.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I couldn't even fly the Air 3. I mean, it was so windy that day. I mean,
you got your Inspire out.
Yeah. Even the Inspire would have had a rough time. I mean, it was like gusting up to 35 miles an hour. I mean, the trees were doing one of these. Well, we had.
Well, welcome to my world, Bill. That's the Jersey Shore for a lot of the winter.
Well, it was 85 on Saturday, and then Monday morning when we woke up, it was 55. Okay.
So one day you're in short sleeves, and the next day you're reaching for that winter jacket, huh?
We got the heat on. Okay.
You're reaching for your Pittsburgh jacket on Monday.
Yeah, this morning it was like 46 when we woke up. Okay. Which down here in Florida, you know, and one thing that I tell people is, you know, 46 up north, you know, it feels warmer up north than it does down here because it doesn't have that moisture in the air like it does down
here. If it was 46 in Pittsburgh in the morning, you'd wear your windbreaker, right?
You wear a windbreaker, you'd be fine with that. Down here, you're bundled up. I mean, you know, the heat's on. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. This weather right now, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, but yeah, okay. You know, we'll talk. Okay, we're gonna close out with some, you know, Rotor Talk Live football talk. Okay, the last 5 minutes of the show. So yeah.
Philip, were there any surprises this weekend in championships games to you?
No, you know, and I got to say this. All right, the Ravens were ripe to be for a loss. Okay,
even though they were for the most part the best team all season, I believe had the best record this year.
Well, you know what? Even my very lame, I'll call them, Pittsburgh Steelers beat them twice. Now, granted, Lamar didn't play in that second game, but he played in the first game. Okay, and they had his number, and you can have him if you rattle his chain, as you saw. Kansas City rattled his chain, and it shook him up. And what Flowers? I mean, my gosh, you can't do that kind of stuff in a football game.
He just lost composure, and he had been a big key for them in the other playoff game or whatever, and that took him out of the ball game.
Yeah, just, you know, so many mistakes by the Ravens. So many.
And somebody said that their running back, I forget their running back's name, but his first carry of the game, he got a 15-yard gain, Bill, in the first quarter, first series, and then guess what? They pulled like a Matt Canada. He never got another carry the rest of the half, even though he's their main running back and he ran for 15 yards on his first carry, but never saw the ball again.
Yeah, I can't figure that out. Okay. I mean, they were right for the plucking. Okay. I was going to say that was going to happen. Okay. Detroit, they just fell apart second half. Okay. I mean, seriously. Well, what? They went away from their run game in the second half. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you abandoning that? It was just dumb.
It was all of them until that one play where they threw the long pass to Ayonk. I don't say his name correctly. You know, the San Francisco receiver, Ayonk, AIY.
Yeah,
Ayonk. That's the best I can do for his name. They threw the long pass ball. Well, the Detroit defense back went up and went to intercept it, but he tipped it up in the air, and Ayonk actually did catch it. And he looked like he went for a TD, but they called down the 5-yard line. But they went in and scored like the next play. But that play, that you know, kind of a lucky break for San Francisco. That was it. That it was all San Francisco from that point on. And Brock Purdy, you know, admittedly, he made some nice plays in that second half. He made some.
He really did.
What about the play where he found it was like third down. He found the fullback. His guy has another name I can't say. You know, I think he's an Ivy League guy. I can't pronounce their fullback's name, but he and this guy doesn't catch that many balls. He found that guy down a seam or whatever, it made like a beautiful throw. I mean, you know, everything went right.
Question for you guys. So
yes,
a guy like Purdy, I heard he doesn't make as much as a lot of the other stars. What will that do for his salary? That will he be able to renegotiate a contract, or he's just stuck with
I'll
it?
tell you, when you see the NFL had a problem where the rookies would get too much money. They would pay these rookies, these high draft picks, more money than the stars of the league, and it kind of upset people. So now rookies, they go into rookie contracts. It's all based on where you're drafted. So poor Purdy was the last player
was bottom, right?
1 year,
Yeah,
so he's at the bottom of that scale. So he's locked in for his salary for 4 years with an option for the 5th year. But San Francisco could come to him and say, "We're going to re-up you early." But they have the option to do that. But from his standpoint, if they don't come to him, he has no option to get more money. But if he keeps playing like he does now, after that, that rookie contract's over, they'll be lining up to pay him tons of money.
Well, then probably also what do they call them? Advertising deals or whatever.
Endorsements. Oh yeah.
Endorsements,
Well, Patrick Mahomes with State Farm. You see him on every State Farm commercial. Okay.
Yeah.
Because and he's also on T-Mobile. If Purdy is smart, he's going to get endorsements, and he's
well. Here's the thing: is I'm sure he's getting a lot of local ones. If Purdy wants to get national endorsements, he got to win the Super Bowl. He can't go to lose the Super Bowl. He's got to win one if he wants to get the national endorsements.
I heard an interesting quote this weekend, and it was by Bill Cowher. And you know what he said? It was worse losing an AFC Championship game than losing the Super Bowl.
Oh wow!
And you know why he said that? He said, when you lose a Super Bowl, that's it. Season's over. It's done. Okay.
Yeah.
When you lose an AFC Championship game, you had a chance to go to the Super Bowl and you didn't. Okay. And Cowher has what? He lost 4 times, 4 AFC Championship games. So if anybody knows what that feeling's like, it's him. And it kind of makes some sense. At first, I'm like, what? But no, I understand. All right. It makes perfect sense. But also, too, I go back to Super Bowl 30. Okay. And his starting quarterback, Neil O'Donnell.
Oh, and those balls he threw he made that Cowboy defensive back a star in that game.
A star in that game. And it was like they talked to O'Donnell after the game. I made a couple of bad reads. Okay. You know what? They literally, they pushed him out of Pittsburgh so fast to make your head spin. Okay.
And let me give you the inside baseball on that. The Deion Sanders was on the Cowboys at that point, and what he was trying to do. No, do I have that right or that wrong? Was Deion Sanders? Anyhow, they were trying to get the ball. They were trying to avoid the defensive back on the one side of the field and throw it to the other side. And he essentially was throwing in double teams because he was trying to avoid throwing to the guy they didn't want to throw to. But here's the thing, back to what you said about losing the game. Here's what I hate this as a fan. I can imagine it was like, Coach, how many times have you watched your team lose a big playoff game, like the AFC Championship game, and the team that beat you, they go to the Super Bowl and they lay an egg. They have a terrible game. You're thinking, why did they just let us get there if they were going to get in there and not do anything? Right, Bill?
I agree. Well, let's close shop up. Marcus, you have any thoughts here?
I do. I have one final thought to lay out to everybody. Listen, we've all seen in the news and so forth that drones are getting kind of a bad rap. Obviously they're getting used in the war in Ukraine and so forth, and there's been some other things going on that probably don't represent our hobby in a good light. When you're out there flying, particularly like I fly at public parks quite a bit, we are ambassadors for our sport. Be conscientious about where you're flying your drone at. Don't fly low over the top of people or those kind of things. Anything that would annoy you is going to annoy somebody else. So keep that in mind. And then also when somebody comes over, hey, be an ambassador for the sport. Show them your controller, show them what you're doing, show them how you're capturing cinematic video and the good things that you're doing with your drone. And that will go a long way to keeping our hobby alive and making it easy for us to continue to enjoy the hobby that we do.
Thumbs up, Marcus.
Yeah,
I agree. Be a good ambassador, because put it this way, if you're not a good ambassador, the local news, even the big news, they're only going to show drones in a bad light. They're never going to show a good drone story. They're only going to show a drone when it's flying a football stadium or doing something. So we're not going to get any good press from your news. They're only going to show drones in a bad light. So be a good ambassador out in the field.
Thank you guys for saying that. And they talk about it as, and I'll give an example, that some of the best sermons you'll ever hear are not inside a church, but it's from people who are believers like myself, how we live our lives. Okay. And it's the same thing here with drones. Okay. And also with ham radio, because there's a big thing going on in ham radio. And there's a lot, what we call, there's a term for people who are dropping bad comments and stuff and just whining all the time, call them sad hams. Okay. Because they just whine, they constantly complain and this and that wrong, everything's wrong. Okay. Well, you know what? Okay. Ham radio is a fantastic hobby. That's why I got into it. Drones are a fantastic hobby. That's why I got into it. Okay. And the fellowship is the best part, like with you guys, we got the meetup coming up. Okay. I got, ham radio convention coming up. I'm going to see a bunch of YouTube guys that I'm going to hang out with. Okay. That's what it's all about. It's having some fun and it's enjoying this hobby and do things to promote the hobby, do things, it's like for ham radio, for example, I promote the daylights out of seeing guys and gals that are helping like teenagers get into ham radio. Okay. And things like that and getting young people in it. And same here with drones, getting young people into drones. Do
you ever find anybody in a ham radio game that uses the ham radio in a way they shouldn't use it? Or
oh yeah, there's a lot of people that do that, Ron. Unfortunately, it's like and there's a lot of crossover with because CB channels. Okay, it's technically part of the ham radio stuff, but people get onto some frequencies that they shouldn't. And one thing that I gotta say is the FCC is real quick. They monitor this stuff and they will come down on you. They won't hesitate. Okay, like the FAA, they kind of the FCC doesn't do that. But everything being said, Marcus and Ron, 100% right. Let's be great ambassadors for this wonderful hobby that we have and help promote it. Okay. Help make sure that when we go out there and fly, we fly responsibly. We follow the Part 107 rules. We follow the other rules, if we're not a Part 107.
CBO
Go do your thing, guys. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Your comments are spot on. Enjoy them. As always, guys, remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.